All right, I ordered the shocks for the trucks and they're here. And I also ordered the camera mirror combo for the truck. So I ordered the Bilstein, I believe they're German. Bilstein Sportswagen Zuhaven. Sorry, I don't speak German. So these are the fronts, and these are the rear. So I will be installing that. First, I gotta fix a plumbing problem in the kitchen. And this is the camera. That is the let's see what brand it was. Got this open here. So what is it? It's the Jansite. Well, I don't remember ordering a mirror called the Jansite. It started with a V, so I don't know what's happening here. If they send me one to replace it, it's got the camera. What is that? Oh, it turned on by itself. This thing has a battery? How can that be? I don't see a battery back here. It says low. Wow. It says low battery, and it says Jansite. I didn't order this. I don't know if I should return it, because it's not the one that I ordered, and I don't want to start unpacking and installing stuff. I'm gonna have to go back online and look at my order from Amazon and see what is it that I ordered, because I knew it was not a Jansite. Never heard of that brand. So they sent me a substitute or something. Well, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Stopped the video and I went to the computer and looked up the mirror, and yeah, it's the one the one I bought. I saw so many different brands. There was one that had like a Japanese name that I kind of liked, but they were going for 140 or something like that. And basically this one is what I was looking for. It's a 10-inch camera, front and back, wide angle, 1080p, and basically I clicked on it because it was 69 bucks, and that's what really made me pull the trigger. It's got a button underneath to turn on, and it has nice menu. I just saw the videos, so I went to the computer and I did some reviews on this, and a lot of people that have them, they say very good things about it. So I'm not gonna send it back. I'm gonna keep it and install the camera in the back there. I'm gonna attach it to the camper because I don't want to attach it to the license plate, because the license plate is low, and if I hook up the quad trailer to it, then I won't be able to see anything. I'll be looking at the front of the bike and nothing else. So I'm gonna put it on the top edge of the door opening, on the jamb there on the top. That's where I'm gonna install it, and it can have an overall view above the bike, and I can still see the left to the right of the bike. And there's the camera here, and it's got a pretty good roll of wire. So I think that's gonna, okay. That's one thing, another project that I gotta do besides the shocks. And here's the little rubbers to connect to the mirror, removable. Okay, now I wanna put this here because I'm gonna do that. Now I'm kicking around this idea that I'm kind of a little bit down on the fact that I won't be able to do. Uh, well, I'm able, but I just can't do it. I don't want to stress my hip. Can't do backpacking anymore. I'm gonna get rid of all my backpacks except one, and I'm gonna get rid of the tents except one for camping, and if we go to a campground or something. But I'm gonna start getting rid of that stuff. And I'm gonna start right now. I want to talk about something else that I've been kicking around. And what I started to say on the video was the fact that the my left hip, even though I haven't seen my specialist yet, but I have a pretty good feeling about this, that if I want to die with this my original hip, and I'm trying to avoid a surgery, I'm not going to be doing backpacking. Mm, you know, even though um, I really like it, but the only way I would do one more trip into the wilderness to hunt back there is if somebody else comes with me. Then we can divide the weight of the water, the weight of the pack, and I won't be carrying that much weight. And then I'll just walk nice and easy. It's only it's 3 miles, you know, but I won't be huffing and puffing and climbing over the steep mountains or anything. I'll be taking it easy. And if we do get a deer, then between the two of us, we can handle the weight and take out the meat. That's the only way I would do backpacking, but I'm gonna have to cancel the backpacking for now, and start selling some of the units that I have, and just keep one for a daily pack. And if I do catch a deer, then I can debone it and put it in that pack, and that will be the Mystery Ranch. That's the one I will keep. The other two, the extended stay with the Kelty frame, I'm gonna sell that one. That's for extended stay. That I did that several times. And the X2 I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna keep the Badlands because it's very light, very comfortable, and I might even sell it also. It's only a little bit under 2,000 square inches. So, but I said to myself, okay, you're not backpacking anymore. You're not going to where the deer are, where I know the deer are. Now you have to hunt in a new, completely different area. I looked at those areas already on my past trip, and um, it's not easy. It's not an easy. It's easy in some areas, not easy in some other areas. The sagebrush is up to your waist, and there's a lot of climbing. Um, and I'm thinking, well, how can I make this sport work in reverse? In other words, instead of me going after the deer, how about the deer going after me? And I came up with this. Um, I've been seeing a lot of these videos of these Mexicans that are starting to hunt now. They probably got legal weapons, because they caught a bunch of them up here in the mountains doing illegal hunting, and they had illegal guns. Nobody had a receipt for anything. But anyways, it doesn't matter. These guys, you can tell that they have very professional gear. They have top of the line gear, very good rifles, including one of them had a carbon barrel. Those are not cheap. They got very good scopes, very good packs. So these guys are hunters, um, dedicated hunters. They're not poachers. Nobody that's a poacher is going to buy expensive gear. Going to buy any rifle they could do the shot. And these guys are real hunters, and I admire what they do. They go into some deep areas. Usually you hear that the bucks are on top, and that's where you're gonna go. And that's what I've been doing for years, because they hide on the very high peaks, saddles, and that kind of thing. But this guy's having a lot of success going the opposite way. They're going down. And they went to this area that I know very well, and they caught a 3x3, a 6-pointer. And I'm going, what the hell? They went down deep into those. It's not a canyon, but it's pretty deep between the hills. There's a ravine, and this guy caught a deer, and I'm thinking, you mean to tell me that for me to be successful, I'm gonna have to do that? And I saw how steep it was, and I've been there a bunch of times. I know how steep it is, and I said, I'm not gonna go down there. I don't want to kill myself alone, right? So you're probably wondering what I meant about the deer coming to me. I came up with this. Since I can't do the hiking, I'm going to be doing the sitting. Now, I've done a lot of sitting in the tree, by the trees, in the rocks, but never really paid attention to the wind. The wind is always flying around in different directions. Sometimes it swirls a little bit. And then I've been thinking, why is it that I've never seen deer where these guys are catching deer? Okay. The reason that they're catching deer is because they're going down, down, down where the deer are feeding, and bang, they get the shot. But since I'm not going to go all the way down, I'm going to find a spot where I can sit, but I'm not going to sit on the ground. I'm going to sit on a tree stand. So I'm not going to be doing the hiking to look for a deer. I'm going to sit to look for the deer with the binoculars and etc. And it had occurred to me that on my last trip, on my trip before last, I did find in a very well-used trail. Okay, it's an existing trail, and I found a couple of very good beddings. So it clicked on me, and I said, it occurred to me, why don't I get a tree stand and go to that area, get up high on a tree, get the wind, get the smell away from me. I mean, from the wind, get up high, 20, 30 feet, maybe higher, and just wait for the deer to come to me. And you can use your call, you can use the rattle. I got antlers. They're plastic, but they make the same noise. And I don't think I ever even used them. And just kind of work the equipment. Use the call, use the bleed, and see if anything comes by. And if it doesn't, well, you enjoy an afternoon or the day there sitting, and you can take nice nature videos, squirrels or whatever, birds, whatever is nearby you, and see if that's going to be the way to go, because I have to cut back on the hikes through the mountains. Some of those mountains are pretty rough, and that's one of the reasons I don't go down into it, because I look over the edge and I'm going, Jesus Christ, no, I'm going to pass. So when I sit on the ground, and I know about the wind, and the thing is that early in the morning, the wind is the temperature is cold, so all the smells in the wind, the breeze rolls downhill, and then when it warms up, it comes up the mountain. So this wind is moving around, and sometimes when it gets a little warm, then it starts swirling, coming from different directions, and you smell it's going everywhere, right? So if that's something that I know it happens. I mean, I know it happens, and I try to work around that, but it's impossible when you're on the ground. When you're on the ground, what are you going to do? If the smells are rolling down and you're sitting on top of the hill like I always do, then if the deer's down there, they're going to smell it. They're not going to come up. And then if you go down there, and then the winds are coming, you go halfway down, right? And that's also one of the best tactic is not go all the way to the top. Don't go all the way to the bottom, but stay in the middle of the mountain. And if the deer's up on the peak and you're sitting down here, the wind's coming back up when it's warmer and it's bringing your scent, and they still smell you, and they're not going to move around. They're not going to be in your area. And that's one of the reasons that has been years that I haven't seen a buck. I've seen does and kind of thing, or I've seen a buck very far away. So I'm going to try a tree stand. And I've been looking a lot of videos and a lot of reviews and people that use them, and they suggest this one and that one at different brands at different prices, and they're not cheap. Um, and then they got the small ones that are kind of dangerous and people fall off the tree. I want something that's going to wrap around me, man. I want a pipe in the front. I want to feel safe. I'm going to be 30 feet, 40 feet high. I want to be feeling safe. And when I stand up, I don't want to vertigo and go, oh, and some people are having in these little platforms and they're tied to the tree. They got a harness, which I'm going to get also. And then they stand up, but there's any kind of movement that in the wrong way, and you're going to do your bow. I'm going to do a rifle, but you do a bow and you're not standing, you don't have more real estate to stand on. Platform is small, you're going to fall and you're going to hang and you're going to hurt yourself. I saw a video. Jesus, this poor guy. He's on a stand and he's with his phone and he says, you don't need a harness if you're careful. And he started saying something and he falls off. Got plunk down to the floor. And then you hear him going, oh, barely survived because the video's up. But he slammed that ground. I don't know how high he was. And this guy wasn't thin and skinny. He wasn't heavy as beer belly or anything, but he was heavy set as body, big body guy, 6'2" or so, 230, 220 pounds. And when he hit that ground, man, I got shivers. I go, whoa, So I don't want that happening to me. I want to sit in a nice stand that I can carry. Also, there's some of them are heavy. They might have a steel. I gotta find one. They have some in aluminum. And there's one called the Summit SD, and then they got the SD Pro, and then they got the Summit Mini, and it's a range of things. So you got to be able to carry it and stuff. So my plan is that now, when I put the shocks on the truck, I'm gonna make a trip to hunt for tree sizes, because this is the issue. All these platforms and seed strands are made for the eastern hunter, the white, basically more like whitetail and stuff. So I've seen very few videos. I've seen, I think, 2 that they're hunting in the western forest where the sequoias and the pine trees are bigger, 30-inch, around 36 inches in width. So none of these tree stands are designed for that size tree. One of the tree stands said, the guy said it goes from 18 to 24. He said basically the width of your shoulders. And I said, well, I think there's some pines out there that they're about that wide, and but before I can fork out the $400 it's going to cost me, or the $380, I'm going to make a trip up there to hunt for trees, to see if there's any trees the right size that I need to have for me to buy it and install it. And now, before doing the purchase of the tree stand, I have to do some scouting. I'm buying trail cameras. I think I'm going to buy 4, and I'm going to put it in 4 different spots that I know that they could be promising. And being that there's no satellite signal or phone signal, that I can use an app with the modern cameras, so you can get the signal and you can look at it. You don't have to. I can't get those cameras. I can't buy them because they won't work up there at 6,800 feet. I'm gonna have to make a couple of trips just to check on the videos, and then if I see movement, which there will probably be some movement, there's nobody around, especially now that the hunt is over, I could decide, okay, I'm gonna hunt this spot, and this is the tree I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna take a measuring tape and measure the tree around it and see if that's decent. And I remember I sat by a tree that was halfway up the area I walked to, and there was a trail, and there was the beddings further up. So if I sit in that tree, and I was trying to look for videos, but since I didn't take the camera because the battery died, I don't remember the trees there, if they're bigger or smaller. It could be like just barely making it because they're bigger. If they're bigger, there's no use. There's no point. I'm putting a stand there. And I want to go and measure the trees and then take the cameras. So I gotta buy the cameras too. And there's a new camera that doesn't have a flash. It has an infrared flash. The flash is invisible, in other words, and it takes very good video. And the camera is a very good price. So I'm gonna have to invest some money on new gear, and that's why I want to sell some of these stuff I have here that I'm not using, the backpacks and the tents, so I can use that money towards the new purchases and start creating a new way to hunt for me. Um, I also have to see if I'm gonna get vertigo, because for some weird reason I can fly a plane. I fly with my buddies. Well, I used to. I haven't done it in years, but used to fly in Cessnas. Never had a problem. Never had. We've flown a Cessna, a two-seater, four-seater, six-seater, a turboprop with 21 seats. I've flown that. So never had a problem in altitude. But you put me on a bridge to look down, and I'm freaking out. And I don't know why. It's not that I'm freaking out. It's just that I'm looking. I'm going, oh, I don't like it. It's a weird feeling. So now, if I buy this thing and go up a tree and it doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to return it, and hopefully they'll return it, because there's nothing I'm gonna be able to do about that. I mean, I can't go to the doctor and say, give me a pill for vertigo. Either you have it or you don't. So I have to try that also. But with the cameras, they're gonna give me the information I need to see if that's gonna be a feasible area to hunt. There's a future. There's some movement, the movement, activity, bucks, bear, whatever. That there's life going through there, and I have a feeling that spot. I got two spots in mind that it could be possible that there's game, and it's not too far from the vehicle. So if I do get a deer, let's say I'm sitting up there, bang, I get a deer. Give him a few minutes just in case. Come down nice and easy, and go over there and take the deer apart, pack it, take it to the vehicle. If you can't take it, everything, go back, pack it, take it to the vehicle, and like that. So this other area that this guy's caught this deer, it's deep, but they do have video about that area. And I'm looking at the trees, and some of these trees are very promising, but it's in a video. I have to physically go to that tree or those different trees and measure it before I make the purchase, because the last thing you want is to buy something that when it's time to go hunting and you're taking all this stuff, and then you say, oh, it doesn't fit. The cable around it, when you hook it, either with a pin, there's one that has a knob on the cable, and you place it, and then it locks down in a slit, and it locks in there with a little pusher, spring pusher that keeps it in place. What if there's not enough connections at the end of the cable to go around this tree? You know what I'm saying? So you can't disconnect it from the base, for where it's connected solidly. You can only have enough cable interconnected on this side, and see if that's going to be enough cable. And then as you move up, it's going to be less and less. That I understand that, but you gotta have enough cable to fit the base of the tree. Right, so the ones I'm looking at is that your seat is here in front of you. You're facing the tree. The seat is here. You can fold it up, or you can click it and fold it together like the back. It's got a back also that you can rest, and it has to be comfortable because you're gonna be sitting up there for hours, the whole day. You're not gonna go up there and 3 hours later, oh, okay, I want to go down because nothing's moving. No, once you're up there, you're up there. You got to take a bag with your food and your water. You got to take your gun, or if you're gonna shoot with a bow, everything like that. You got to have all your gear, and you have to have enough clothing, your coat or your raincoat. If it starts raining, you need to be ready with all this stuff, and that bag's going to be heavy also. So the ones that I'm looking at is you push this forward against the tree there. You climb, facing the tree. You climb, and boom, boom. You get to where you're going. You turn around. You don't have to put your foot over anything. You turn around, surrounded by this pipe, this tubing, where you can rest your gun. Okay, that's behind you. You turn around. You sit. You put your seat down. You sit on it. It's got a high rest padding up to your neck, comfortable. You're not gonna rest. You're not resting against the bark of the pine tree, which is very crusty. And you sit there relaxed, stretch out your feet. Some of them have the platform comes out the foot. It's I think they say it's 24. Some of them are 30. So this is a 20 foot from the back of the tree. It's like there, and some of them are 30. It's got, let me see, 30. Yeah, it's got like a little kick out. You can put your feet on it. There are all kinds of different designs, and I was amazed how many designs there were. Every company comes up with a different idea, different way to do it. But there's called one, the tree walker. That one looked really comfortable, but it also looked very heavy and big. And I tried to look at Amazon. They didn't have it there, and it got late last night, and I was getting sleepy. I said, "No, I'll keep doing research tomorrow." And I have to look at the weight and stuff. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna start hunting from trees if I don't get vertigo. So, but I think that if I have a solid, not a flimsy one, but if I have a solid unit that I can sit there and rest, and I'm very patient. I don't jitter. I don't do anything. I can just sit there, and if I'm comfortable, I can just lay back, stretch out like this, put the gun here, or you can have the gun hooks, and you can put your gun on those hooks or across the pipe, because it has a pipe. Some of them has a pipe around like this with padding here, and you can rest the gun. If you're going to shoot done, you can rest on that. You know, you're not going to stand up. When you stand up, it's for the people that shoot with the bow. And so for me to get accustomed to that, if I'm in a solid stand, tree stand, and I'm comfortable, I can also go and to get accustomed to it, because I'm not going to buy it, try it, okay, it works, and then put it away. No, I'm going to go and try it in different areas, and I'm going to sit there for hours, and I'm just going to take nature videos for 3-4 hours at a time, so I can have something for the channel, because the rest of the time I don't have much. So at least if well, I still got projects to finish around here, but at least I'm going to be able to try it and try it and try it. And if I still get, if I'm getting dizzy and kind of afraid, and you're looking down and go, man, this is high, I'm going to fall, and you get start feeling like that, then it's better just to return it or sell it, because you don't want to be hunting under those conditions if that's the way you feel. Uh, but I have to come up with a solution to my problems, and that's my solution. I don't want to. It has to be able to. I have to be able to pack it. So there's one that's 18 pounds. There's another one that's 20 pounds because it's a little bigger. It's got a little extra thing. And then there's another one that's 26. Then it goes up to 30 and 33, different models. I want to be able to pack it together with my backpack, which is going to have just the essentials. And I have a hand warmer because if you're up there and you go up there at night, which you have to go up there at night, I'm going to have also, you need to have hand warmers to keep you warm at the beginning of the morning. And then when it warms up, you can turn that off. So you need to take that also. And there's one that's bigger. The mine is small, just for the hands. There's one that's bigger. And those are things to consider. You got to take your coat, you got to take the right amount of clothing because you're not hunting in the summer, especially if it goes into November. That's going to be cold and it might even snow. And you have to sit there and take it. You have to sit there and take it. Um, but since you're off the ground, let's say it snows, you're not going to be sitting in the snow. That's when it gets really cold. So another thing to consider is that if you're sitting in a high area with a good view, because this first spot that I'm thinking about, there's not a lot of view. There's a trail, there's the bedding, and I'm hoping there's no movement through there. I have to experiment with that. But there's some other areas that you can sit and you can see far, like a mile. Okay. And even though you're not going to be able to shoot at that distance, but at least you're going to know that that's where the movement is. It's not here, it's over there. And if you're not moving around or making any noise, the deer will do their normal routine, and then you can determine the best area if you do have a good view. There's a lot of open areas up there where it opens up big time. And then if I'm gonna hunt an area that it's open, looking down, the best rifle for that is a 7 mag. So the 7 mag is not one that you're going to be backpacking with it. I'm going to be sitting with it, and you can shoot with that Magnum at 500 and 600 yards, guarantee hit, and that's a good gun to take. Um, More impact and everything. So there's different options that I can use uh, with this totally different equipment. Um, since I can't pull the bow anymore, I'm gonna sell that bow also. It's a shame because I really like shooting it. It's a bow. Shooting a bow is an art. It's not. It's not an easy thing that you go, in your head. No, you really gotta. It's an art. You gotta balance it out and make sure it's level. You take aim. If it's close by, it's not really a big deal. But if you're shooting 60, 80 yards, you really gotta know what you're doing. The wind conditions and everything. That's an art. So that's it. That's the idea. Complete change of tactics. Um, I have to go up there and look for those the right tree. If there's some trees that I can use in those areas, and all I have to do is go and take my little saw and trim the dried up branches and everything, and then it's okay. I'm gonna go this high, and I'm gonna be cutting on my way up, and then once I'm there, I'm gonna sit there and see how it feels, see what I'm looking at, and there's another spot that I got a good feeling about that area too, but you have to be off the ground because the deer got a very good sense of smell and they got excellent eyesight. If you're sitting on the ground and you're sitting on a piece of root or a piece of branch or a rock and you're like doing just this, that little movement, if there's a deer in the brush looking at you, he's not sure what you are. When you make the movement, he goes, gotcha. And he's not coming down your way, he's going the opposite. From up there, another advantage is that you can look down between the brushes. Some deer are hunkering down between the sage, and if you're looking at it flat, you won't see them. But if you're 40 feet high and you look down, you go, wait a minute, hey, that's an antler, right? Check it out with the binoculars. You can even take a spotting scope, set it up on your veranda that this thing comes with, and bring it up to your eye and start, you all kinds of possibilities. I'm kind of excited about this. Well, I don't like to use the word. I'm enthusiastically about this new gear. I just want to see uh, if it's going to be the right size for the trees. And there's another one called the Long Wolf, and that one has a. It looks like a belt. It has little ridges, and that goes around. And you click it, and then you lock it in. Some of them have a pin, but I notice when they start climbing, that is drooping down, and it gets caught because it's flat. It's like a belt, so it catches. And the guy was struggling a little bit and tried to bring it up, and it's hanging. It's not staying. It should be higher, because when you hang it, the cable should be higher, not lower, because you're gonna slip. And then there's another one that it looks like it has a bicycle chain inside the sleeve of this material. And that one also, I think it catches. So what I've learned is that it cannot be flat like a belt. It has to be rounded like a cable. That one will slide easier, and then it would dig in. But those are the ones that have the cables like this. Got a knob here, a knob here, and a knob here. So it only has like 3 knobs. That means only 3 adjustments. That means it's going to be limited on tree size. So I'm looking at all this stuff, and it's pretty hard to determine the size of that cable, because nobody tells you. Nobody says it's 30 inches, it's 36 inches, it's 40 inches. Nobody's giving that information unless, well, come to think of it, maybe I could just write to them and say, hey, what's the length of that cable, to see if it's going to fit the western trees, because the trees here are pretty wide. I'm not going to a massive sequoia, okay? I'm going to a but these trees are pretty big. They've been to find the right tree in the right location. That's why I have to drive up there and spend the weekend and hunt for trees. I'm not hunting for deer now. I'm hunting for trees. So that's the that's the thing that I'm going to do now in the future. So kind of late now to start with the shocks. I'm going to see if I could do that tomorrow. It's getting cold already. Um, but I think it's going to be a good change, because I hate to abandon the sport because I can't compete with the competition. I got to do something different, something that gives me an edge. Okay. And I think the height will give me the edge. And also, I have a drip bottle that you put there, deer, what is it, Docent or something, and it drips, and according to the temperature, it drips more. You can set that up also away from your stand, and if a deer goes there sniffing, and then he's coming to that. So that's why I said I want the deer to come to me. So now I'm gonna work the hunting like it's a fishing trip. When you're fishing, you're not after the fish. You sit there and you wait for the fish to come to you. Basically, you go where the fishing is, but then you gotta wait there with the rod and wait for the fish to hit the bait. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit and wait for the deer to come by. If I call him in, if I entice him in, if I have a little dripper or something, I gotta change my tactics, because I can't just be a goat like I used to and roam all over the mountains. I know you're gonna have more uh, chances of seeing a deer, but you can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I can still do it, but I have to stop, because I don't want to wear out my hip. I can't afford it uh, to wear out my hip. So, and I don't want to selling my rifles and all my stuff. I just bought this truck and I want to be able to use it. So I don't want the season to come around and say, hey, where's Cordell? Well, Cordell's sitting at home because he can't hunt no more. No, I'm gonna hunt, but I'm gonna hunt different. That's the way it's gonna be. I'm gonna hunt different. So I saw a younger guy. He must have been 40, 40 something, little chubby. And he had a video. He said, "This is my last." No, he said, "I won't be backpacking, doing any more backpacking videos. I'm just gonna do fishing." And he was only 40 something. I started backpacking in my 40s, my late 40s. So if he decided to do it, it must have been for a reason, health reason. Uh, it's rough on the body. Uh, he didn't look to be in bad shape. He was just chubby. He wasn't big back, big fat hanging out the ear or anything. But he probably didn't really like roughing it that much. I like the challenge. I like the challenge. I don't care about sleeping in the ground. I don't care if it's cold. I can take it. I take my gear. I take my little heater, my warm heater, hand heater, things like that. Buy the clothing for it. Get your air mattress and different things, mats and everything. I've tried everything. I like the challenge. I didn't quit in the first time when it was freezing, and it was freezing. I think you've seen the video where the water froze. It went 3 below, and but I was prepared. You know, if you're prepared for the weather, it's not gonna hit you that hard. You know, it's kind of challenging. It's fun. I like the stormy weathers and the wind and even the rain. I don't like the mud, but I like the rain. I like the wind. If it starts snowing, no big deal. I like that kind of thing. Uh, but I can't do that anymore because I don't want to wear out. I saw the X-ray, and when I talk to my specialist, he's gonna probably confirm what I'm thinking. They say, well, you're at the edge of losing it already, so don't abuse it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying not to abuse it. All right, guys, I'll let you go, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.